We are live.
We are live. Welcome everybody to BRL F2 at Brazil. I'm here. I'm the host, Deer Hunter 82270, with my co-host here, Ferrari Nut. How are you doing here, Ferrari Nut?
Well, was doing all right till about 5 o'clock hit, and then I got a nice big allergy attack, so I popped the Benadryls. I'm a little groggy, but I'm feeling a little better now. So, enough about my struggles there.
And already we have Avenge retired from the session.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
Huh.
Let's see if I can go over to him and see what's
Oh, wow, okay. Well, Riddick has looped it around. He's in Sector 2 on his outlap here. He's back going the right way. Didn't hit anything, but just... And he's done it again, and almost didn't get as lucky that time, and almost a third time. So he seems to have a bit of an issue getting it going here. And he spun it another time, and hard to tell if he's got any wing damage off of that.
Riddick is a new driver to the league, so we've got 3 new drivers here this weekend. We've got Riddick 33, who I believe is a friend of Avenge. We have Switchback Racer, who, if you remember him, he used to be Baconator. We have Taylor Clan, who is a friend of Sparky, and we have E-Roads, who is a friend of Maverick. So we have we have 4 new drivers in the field tonight. Wishing them all the best.
And we've got Riddick coming to the end of Sector 1 here, 18-1, respectable time for the first sector. He runs wide though, so that's going to probably invalidate that lap, or at least going to make it slower. Runs it deep again, off the track a little bit. Looks like he's just overdriving the car a little bit. Oh, as he almost loops it. Got it back though. He's just overdriving the car a little bit at this point in time.
Yeah, I feel like he maybe has some assists off here, maybe just trying to get a feel for the car. And I'm going to go on board with E-Roads here in the side.
Right, well, while you're watching him, I'll be watching the timing sheets because we have got Riddick, Formula Rage, Rhodes, Jamaican Baller, and CJ all on a lap at the moment. Riddick goes to the top of the board.
E-Roads is a 17-8 through the first sector, and he is on the stock compound tire. Not a bad first sector for the Southern driver.
No, not at all. So we've got CJ at the top, as Riddick did in fact invalidate that first lap with a 1:11.416. And we got a yellow in Sector 2.
It is Switchback Racer.
Yep,
he has off the track trying to let faster guys go through.
Trying to get out of the way there.
As E-Roads, he sets a 17.8 through the second sector. He's on a very good lap here. Let's see what he can do up to the line here. Like I said, this is the F2 division, so times will be a little bit slower than F1, about a second and a half slower, I'd say. But as he comes to the line, it is a 1:12.1. That is about 7/10 off of CJ's time.
Mind you, he is on a slightly harder tire, so that's got a little bit to do with it, but still a pretty good lap.
Riddick comes to the line. He sets a 12.6.
Mind you, that's his second or third lap on his tires now, so he's going to definitely want to do another run.
A 1.85. Good lap. He is the second quicker in the race on the Supers.
And Jamaican Baller has yet to set a time. Looks like he's invalidated both of the laps he's run already. So I don't think he's going to have enough fuel.
Sorry to interrupt. Taylor sets his lap. He is now P7 in the McLaren.
And Beef Baby sets a new fastest time at a 1:08.270.
on board with Jamaica now. He's in the Haas. He's a former AOR America driver now running full-time in BRL F2 as we have a local yellow in Sector 2. We'll go to that in a moment. As Jamaican's on a very good lap here. He is on the supers. Now you can go from the supers to mediums here, but it is a big stretch. The most conservative strategy here for this race is to go from softs to mediums.
Yeah, it is. I did that same strategy in the SMB F1 season finale here, and won the race by quite a bit. The only thing is that at the start of the race, if you are, let's just say you're somebody like Mitch or Mr. Beat Baby or Rage, who are arguably some of the quicker guys in the field tonight, as Taylor Clan sets a 108.554 to go second.
That's a good lap by the McLaren driver.
Very good lap indeed. So we got a Force India on top, a McLaren second, a Ferrari third, a Red Bull fourth, CJ, actually that's a Toro Rosso.
Switchback is on a flyer in the Sauber. He is on the soft compound tire, so let's see how quick this first sector is. If he can be in the high to mid 17s here, that would be a very... Oh, he runs a 16.7. He's on
cooking.
Pace for pole at the moment. Wow.
Yeah, he is definitely on a flyer here. That's a very good time for the first sector. I'll be curious to see if he didn't invalidate that.
And like I said, this is a new racer to BRL. He used to run in my league, R2VG, under the name Baconator. He is back when he is, based off what I heard from earlier, his intentions are to run the full season. I think all of the new drivers now in the league, their intentions are to run full season. So we will go up to, I believe, 12 full-time F2 drivers following tonight's race. But we're still on board with a switchback race, so this is going to be a very good lap on the softs. He goes to P2, 6/100ths off pole on the Polar compound tire.
Yes, indeed. That's going to work very well for him as we go together in sector 22. It looks like Riddick might have crashed out here.
I believe he has. It looked like he was just struggling a little bit for grip, trying to get accustomed to this track. Maybe running no assist for the first time, but he'll definitely have a long time in the race.
Yeah, he's
to get accustomed to that.
Yeah, he's off the side of the right side of the track at the end of sector 1, start of sector 2, so he's kind of in a precarious position there, but he'll be cleared off here in just a moment. So then I think we're going to put any hold on any record-breaking laps, as Jamaican Bala has now moved up after doing 4 laps on his super soft tires to a 1:11.9. So he's jumped up to 7th ahead of E-Roads and Riddick.
I was on board with Jamaican there coming to the line. I know he was on tires that had a lot of laps on them, but he was on a really good lap there. I'm surprised he decided to pull into the pits. As Slingshot is now on a flyer, and he's just 2 tits down. At the moment, he's set for P3 on the grid if he holds what he has.
Gets out of the hairpin nicely, up to the second hairpin.
Being very conservative. I've noticed that with a bunch of drivers here today. They're being very conservative into the middle sector, just trying to make sure they don't lose that back end.
Exactly.
He's up. Head through the second sector. Let's see what this is. Head to the line.
Seventh place.
P7. Not a bad lap by the Mercedes driver.
No, not at all.
I think he lost a little bit of time through the second and third sectors. He was just briefly close to a top 3 time there, and I feel like he just took it a little bit conservative maybe through the second and third sector. He'll have another shot here as we still have 8 minutes remaining.
Probably did take a little easy. That is, you are right. I'm definitely seeing these guys take it a little easy through that second sector just because grip seems to be at a premium tonight. A lot of slip sliding and spinning around so far in this session, as we're already down to the last 8 minutes, so it goes quick.
As Trace Me has left the session for some reason, it's showing him offline now, so I wonder if he got disconnected or something here.
Huh. Now, one guy we have yet to see run a lap is Sparky. And
he is actually not here tonight.
So
Sparky,
it's just
Bundy,
loaded him in.
and Digi's Proof. All BRL F2 regulars, I think except for Bundy now, who's running a limited schedule. But Sparky and Digi's Proof F2 regulars, they're actually away this race. Sparky had intentions of running, but forgot his disc while he's on vacation. So he is not here tonight. Neither is Bundy. Neither is Digi's Proof. And Trace Me and Rage are the only F1 drivers competing in tonight's race. But since they are lower down in the field in F1, they're allowed to run F2 for added practice. And Trace Me has disconnected, like I said, for some reason. We don't know if he's going to be able to get back in here, but at the moment he is not online.
Well, he's got 6.5 minutes to get it done. Otherwise, sorry about your luck, Jack.
Going back on board with Jamaican here, I just can't see that Haas driver being down in 9th position, 3.5 seconds off the pace as Cabone gets a good lap up there in the P5.
And Formula Rage to the top of the 108.15.
Good lap. The top, I can already start to see a little bit of division for me. You've got 3 drivers at the top separated by less than 2 tenths. 5 drivers separated by pretty much 4 tenths. Then you've got a gap. You've got about a second gap to Capone, who's sitting in 6th. And then about 3/4 of a second gap back to Slingshot. You've got a group right there, Slingshot, CJ, Jamaican, E-Roads, Riddick, Feeling. And then you've got the top guys. You've got Rage, Beef Baby, Switchback, Taylor, Mitch. So I'm already starting to see a little bit of division in the times here for these drivers.
Indeed, as Switchback has actually switched to the super soft tires. He is currently still in the pits, and he, I believe, is going out now.
Ooh, Jamaican up to P6. I was right on board with him. That's a good lap, and now we have 6 drivers within a half a second.
Yes, we do, and now Switchback has come out of the pit lane. He is onto the second DRS straight, exiting the pits on a brand new set of super soft tires. Now, he set his first time on that soft tire and was able to go P3, just a 1/10.5, more or less, off of what is currently pole position. So you got to think, with those softer tires bolted on, he is going to be setting a much quicker time this time. As we have another local yellow in Sector 2, Jamaican Baller has retired from the session.
I do adjust the game audio there real briefly. Taylor is on a good lap in the McLaren. He surprised me. Taylor, he's a new guy. I believe he's a friend of Sparky, but I have never even heard of this guy until about 30 minutes ago, and he's doing absolutely phenomenal in qualifying up there in P4 at the moment.
Yes, he is doing quite well. Is he on a good one? He might actually move up a spot here. He might be able to get just a little
lap.
bit.
Very good lap. What will it be?
Top of the board.
Top of the board as he spins it to turn 1. Hold it. That a ball. That a ball.
I think after the line, he should have just left off there and kind of coasted down to turn 1 and not been so aggressive and risk the car like that, because he's on top of the board right now.
Mitch is on a flyer. He's on the soft compound tire. His first lap is 4 tenths down. I feel like he's going to do another here. Let's ride on board.
And while you're on board with him, I'm on board with Switchback.
And
he is stuck. He is stuck behind his teammate E-Roads 24, who is coming up for a hot lap through Sector 2, and he has not got out of the way. So that will more or less have ruined Switchback's good lap.
I think Switchback is he is on a flyer. My bad. E-Roads finally gets out of the way.
Or not.
That might be a trick for the stewards for E-Roads. He is a new driver. I wonder what Switchback's going to come in the pits. He's going to try to chuck on a new set of supers or softs here and see what he can do.
Well, he better do it quick. If he can get out with about 2 minutes remaining, or about 1.5 minutes actually, on the clock, he might be able to get another one in. But he's going to have to really get after it.
As we're on board, I'm on board with Capone now, who isn't that far back. He's switching back to the super soft tires here. And let's see what that first sector is. A 17.1. So that's on pace for about P4, P5 at the moment. I think he might be able to jump in that top 6 here.
If he can bridge the gap to that top 6 group, then we are going to have 7 guys all running in the 108C, which is going to create for some very interesting racing when it comes to adding the DRS into the mix.
Oh, and think, you don't even have into the factor Slingshot, who is a solid top 5 driver week in and week out, and Avenged, who's going to have to come back through the field.
Indeed. Avenged probably going to go for a soft to medium strategy. Kind of curious why he retired from the session. I don't know if he actually got out on track or not.
He wrecked out, according to him. As Capone is on a decent lap, he's able to improve by just by
16 1,000ths.
I think he's going to do another lap here. It looks like he's got the fuel to do it. But if Capone can sort of bridge that gap by about half a second, and if Slingshot can put in a good time here, we're going to have about 8 or 9 drivers within like a half a second of each other.
Switchback is currently exiting the pits. He's under the back straightaway. He's got a minute and a half. He is definitely going to be able to make another run at this. The question is, what will the time be? He is currently, along with Mitch, the fastest of the soft runners. He's actually the only soft runner to set a time at the moment, as far as I can see. Aside from
Tracy,
Mitch.
he has returned to the lobby, so we now have 14 drivers here on the grid. He's on a flyer.
He is currently starting a lap.
This is incredible, Farr. Usually we're so used to the F1 guys being so close together. We're finally starting to get a really good grid here in F2. We're in the 5th round. Oh, his Tracy is retired.
Yeah, he even validated the lap by running wide off the center S, so he more or less just binned it there and just wasn't going to complete the lap. As Switchback is coming down to start his lap just now. He's across the start-finish line with 28 seconds remaining, so he's safely starting that lap as he runs just a little bit deep into the center S. Nice and tidy, keeping it clean. Out of the curve of the Sol and onto the back straightaway.
Ooh, Rage is on a good one, and as you were saying earlier, Ferrari Capone, if he could close the gap, he's got it down to 8 tenths. So we were absolutely going to have 8 or 9 drivers, I think, tonight under a blanket for this win as Rage is coming up to the line. Can he beat it? He cannot. He stays in second. Double Switchback.
Rage ran 1/1000th of a second slower than his lap of record at the moment, so more or less just used up a set of tires for no reason there. Switchback has come through the second sector, and he is onto the final straightaway out of Junção and down towards the main grandstand and the start-finish straight. Not holding it as tight as I would have liked to see him do, but he is going to go to the top of the board by half a second.
Where did that come from? A 107.4.
Times you'd expect to be seeing on Friday in the F1 race from the Sauber driver.
Who was scheduled to race tonight. So that means we'll bring the field up to 15. 13 of those being F2 regulars. So we are having a very good field tonight. Ledoux will be with a default setup though. So that might hamper him a little bit, but if you remember, he was a regular RTVG driver, but as you look through this grid, you can throw a blanket from about 2nd all the way down to 6th. And then you've got guys like Avenge, Slingshot, Trace Me, and now Ledoux. It is going to be one heck of a race here, Ferrari.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I think with that Sauber being a half second up in qualifying, that's a big gap in Formula 1. In Formula 2, actually, even though these are quote-unquote F1 cars. That's a big gap. I think we're going to see him probably walk away with this one if he doesn't have anything silly happen.
And actually, I don't think Ledoux was able to get in here. It showed him try to get in during quali, but I don't see him on the grid, so we will stay at 14 drivers. Ledoux did try to race earlier, or try to get in the lobby earlier. I think he actually had a date tonight. But he wanted to race instead, so, but unfortunately, I don't think he'll be joining the session tonight, but he will be racing in future races, I do believe.
Hashtag priorities.
But this is another thing we got to keep in mind tonight. Slingshot, Avenged, Jamaican. They are all biting at the tail here because Sparky is not here. I'm looking at the points right here. The points based off of last week, it's Sparky with 68 points, Slingshot with 51, Mitch with 50, Jamaican 48, Avenged 40, Spewing 40. It's going to be really close. Here,
Yeah,
after
potentially
tonight,
could see a big shakeup to start off the second half of the season as the formation lap is now underway. Hopefully we see it nice and tidy through the formation lap. No collisions. Don't want anybody starting on cold tires. Fairly short run down to turn 1 here.
And I just got word from the chat. Both Ledoux and Sparky just tried to join the session.
Oh.
And they were not able to. So we would have had 16 tonight. 17 if Digi's Proof would have showed up, but Sparky and Ledoux, they were about 2 minutes too late.
We've got multiple DSQs here.
Oh, 9th through 11th, 13th. Good gosh.
What on earth happened here? And Spewing and Trace Me are both lagging quite a bit behind the field here. They may want to get a bit of a move on.
Well, the thing is, those are all midfield drivers out there. Their tires are going to be stone cold at the start of this race. It's going to hamper their chances for a good finish here at the start. But heading into them coming to the grid here, who do you think is the favorite for today's race?
Well, I think obviously it's got to be Switchback. Throwing down a lap a half second, actually 0.6 of a second quicker than the nearest rival, is a huge deal in open wheel racing. That is a huge margin in these kinds of conditions, especially on a track this short. You come to a shorter track like Sao Paulo and you expect the times to close up quite a bit, but in this case, he's got, 2/3 of a second in hand in one lap. So I think if he gets a nice clean start, he should be able to jump away quite easily. But the big thing is going to be
final drivers on the grid forming up here. We're going to get ready for the lights to go out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away they go for the BRL F1 Grand Prix of Brazil. Switchback gets a very good start. Sailor and the McLaren trying to close in. If the turn routes are arranged, they all have down in the turn 1.
Trace Me with a nice big dive up the inside. He's already picked up a couple of places. He's already up to 10th, working on 9th against E-Roads. And he actually...
Oh, they're not missed right the front driver! Makes contact with the Haas back in the field!
As Jamaican Baller has lost his front wing. They're both still running.
And Jamaican are still running, but they've lost their wings.
I think their only hope's a safety car now.
And they are 3rd and 4th in the points. They couldn't have this happen. They're trying to close in on Sparky, and then they go and have that happen. I saw the Ferrari of Mitch. He got squeezed a little bit by Jamaican coming out of the Senna S's, and he just got a little bit loose, and they made contact. They're still in the race, but they have got a difficult uphill ahead for them in the remainder of this race.
Yes, they do. Like I said, a safety car is probably going to be the only saving grace for them if they get one. They're going to be well behind the field. Mind you, they could potentially pull off a bit of a different strategy now. That could get them up the field as Switchback completes first lap with a 1:15.0. He's already a 1.5 seconds up the road from Formula Rage.
And Trace Me has got to be the biggest move of the race as he now makes a dive bomb under E-Roads for 7th. E-Roads will give up 2 spots here. Trace Me has already gone from 14th to 7th.
And Avenged is right behind him.
Phenomenal.
He is right behind him, and Jamaican Baller nets himself a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That'll be a 5-second stop go. Does he serve it now? No.
That's just adding insult to injury there, man. But
it really is.
I mean, like I said, and remember, we have 12 F2 drivers here tonight, so 2 drivers will not score points. Usually, it has been in the past that every F2 driver score points because we just have not had such a big field. We're finally starting to get some momentum, have a bunch of F2 regulars now. We have 12 F2 regulars and 2 F1 drivers here to make a total of 14. 2 drivers will not score points, and that could very well be Mitch and Jamaican. 2 drivers battling for the championship.
It really could, because they are now 30 seconds behind the nearest car.
We're having a very scruffy fight for second here as Rage Taylor and Mr. B. Baby, is he? Oh, he doesn't go up and inside. No, he doesn't. But they will have DRS. Oh, Taylor, right on the gearbox of Rage heading through the center S's.
Yeah, Rage ran a little wide up the exit, had to back it off a little bit to avoid running off the curb. As Taylor runs around the outside, maybe.
Side by side.
He runs wide. Is that going to open the door for Beef Baby down the next straightaway? They're too wide in front of him. Not going to happen.
We got battles all over the field. We got 3 drivers battling for second. We got 3 drivers battling for 6th. And we've got a battle for 10. 3 drivers battling for 10 for the final points position. Good gosh almighty, this is a good race.
And Trace Me has now gotten around Avenged King and E-Roads, and he's got about 3 seconds of clear air up to Capone and about another 2 as Mitch gets a time penalty for going off the course. So again, just adding insult to injury.
These guys aren't careful. Capone could sneak in as Taylor makes a pass on Rage. Rage and F2 regular. He is being, I believe Rage is a little bit flustered. I think Rage and Trace me both expected to just leave the F2 field here. And you've got Rage and Trace me right in the thick of things as Rage gets a time penalty.
That's not going to help his case any, as he's already lost a position to Mr. Beef Baby. As he trying to come back? Yeah, he's got DRS. He's trying to come back. He's got the inside line. He's going to clear him there pretty easily. The big thing that I'm seeing is that Capone's kind of got an island. He's kind of an island right now. He's got 2 seconds in front of him, about 2.5 behind. He's just kind of minding his own business at the moment. I think that could play out. That could play out very well for him right now.
But that's probably his best one, because he's sitting bottom of the barrel right now in the point standings as I look at it. He just needs a solid finish. There are several drivers who just need a solid finish tonight. Capone, CJ, Spoon. They just need to have solid, clean races. Just get through this race, not much of an incident, and get some solid points.
You're exactly right. As Mr. Beef Baby and Rage continue to trade spots. Rage has got DRS. He's going to go around the outside as Riddick gets a 5-second stop-and-go penalty for corner cutting. Not something we see a lot. So
he goes back up the inside.
Causes Rage to lock up, but he's going to hold the inside. Job done. Maybe not.
Oh, I'm not sure. They're going to be side-by-side heading through this corner. Will he dive it up the inside? No, he lets him by.
And all this is just letting Taylor get away and get in hot pursuit of Switchback, who is not pulling away as quickly as I thought he would, as Riddick has spun along with Mitch. They've had a coming together in the 3rd sector.
What has happened with Mitch?
I'm not sure.
This is supposed to be his race to gain as many points as possible, and he's absolutely blown it.
I think just where he's been at in the field. First lap incident obviously never helps as he gains another 3-second penalty for going over the curbs in the Senna S. I think he was probably a little too aggressive on the start. Probably should have just held his position, tried not to get in any argy-bargy with any other drivers, as Riddick is now going to be the first driver to go 1 lap down as he exits the pit. Race leader just going by on the circuit. And Taylor Klein has now picked up a 3-second penalty.
Hold the phone right now. We're about to have a 3-car battle for 5th here, as Tracy and Avenge are absolutely bowing their hearts out.
They are.
Time penalty, and they're about to close in on Capone here.
Avenge needs to be very cautious about how close he is to the back of Trace Me as he gets up the inside of him. He's on a softer tire than the Williams.
We thought this was going to be an absolutely cracker of a race, and it just bows all throughout the field here, it seems.
Yep, indeed.
Oh, who's that off? Is that Riddick?
Yeah, looks like it. He's moving awfully slowly.
Oh, and he's holding up Slingshot now. He's holding up slingshot. Come on, man. Get out of the way.
Yeah, you know the blue flags.
He does.
The blue flags are just waving at him from every angle.
Oh, it's both Trace Me and the Benz Lab DRS. This is about to be a sensational battle.
As it looks like Riddick has left the session, so it looks like he's retired the car. It looks to me as if CJ may have disconnected because his car is running around ghosted at the moment, and Jamaican just went right through him, basically.
Yeah, it looks like CJ's either disconnected or he has paused it, possibly. I know he might have paused it for a brief moment. We'll check back in on that. If he indeed stays paused for the rest of the race, it will mean he will get a DNF. So that might be a saving grace for Jamaican and Mitch here as we go back to the battle.
Trace Me around the outside. He's going to get a little grass just a little bit on the curve. He's still got the inside for the next corner.
Oh, they're about to bang wheels here. Oh, Capone does not want to give it up.
No, he does not. I think Trace Me should probably just be a little bit patient. He's going to get him down the straight here as they touch.
Bang wheels.
And that is going to lose him the spot to Avenged, who is now going to have DRS on the Renault. He's going to scream by him like he's not even there hardly. Those super softs on the Renault are bound to be going off.
Oh, his Rage is going to have a run on Mr. Beefbay, but he will have DRS, and Taylor has moved the gap from 2 seconds to 1.3.
Yes, he has. He's closed down a little bit on the race-leading Sauber. Will we see a battle
he went
for
wide. Rage went wide. He just lost the spot again.
It does no good to get up close to somebody and then dive up the inside if you just go sailing off the circuit and they go right back past. It looks spectacular to the viewers, but it doesn't gain you any brownie points with the team. As Avenged has now moved into the top 5, he is currently the only runner in the top 5 on the soft tires, so at some point I would imagine we will see him inherit the lead, as he is only 10 seconds off the lead of the race right now, and actually gaining a bit of time as he comes onto the front straightaway.
And I want to bring up something here, as I'm about to say it, Rage goes back by Mr. Beefbay, but he locks it up here. It's going to be a good fight for third. For just a moment there, the top 3 were all F2 regulars. That's incredible. And 2 of the guys are brand new, just showed up tonight. Mr. Beefbaby just joined last week. So this is a very good fight. These F2 drivers are taking the fight to the F1 drivers.
Yes, they are. Maybe they're trying to prove a little something here. Maybe say to the top-tier teams, hey, maybe I deserve a ride in F1 instead of this guy.
I was very doubtful after Japan, after we saw so many DNFs. I was a little bit disappointed, but they are absolutely redeeming themselves tonight. I honestly think that there might be some F1 drivers watching this race sweating a little bit, knowing that some F2 drivers could take their spot next season.
Indeed, as Taylor Plan is now close to just outside of a second. He was within a second just a moment ago. Is he going to have DRS down the front straightaway? As he dives into the pits, he is not going to wait for the DRS to kick in. He's going to go ahead and dive into the pits and go for the undercut.
Will he go for the medium zone? Will he do the one stop? It's a little early to do the one stop.
I think he is going to go. He's going for another set of supers. He's going for another set of supers, so he is going for a 2-stop strategy. Will that leave
Taylor's
race?
In. Mr. Beefbaby is in. Capone is in.
Capone has gone for the soft tire, as has Mr. Beefbaby. They have opted for a slightly different strategy to the car ahead of them, which may...
Oh, we got a good battle. Good battle for tip. Oh, they make contact! Spilling and Jamaican!
Jamaican is out of the race.
They made contact. Spilling and Jamaican. I feel like Spilling was just squeezing Jamaican a little bit there on the front stretch. Jamaican hit the bump there, and Jamaican went sailing into the wall. That might be a visit to the stewards by Spewing. But Jamaican, our 4th place driver in the points, is out of the race.
Well, I guess that answers which, at least one of the two, will not be getting points today. Mitch has already closed up to about 3 seconds behind Spewing, so if he can get by him without any incident, he'll be into the points.
Actually, we're automatically doing the points. Remember, we've got 2 F1 drivers here, and that makes Jamaican is out, Riddick is out, and CJ is out, I believe. If CJ doesn't come back. So that means Mitch will at least...
And Capone's out!
Oh, Capone's out!
What has happened here?
We were just bragging about how good job they're doing, and then chaos erupts.
And he's sitting dead center of the track. What has happened here?
Where is he? I can't even find him.
He is on the front straightaway. Basically sat right in the middle of the track at the pit entrance.
Oh, we're about to have a good battle. Mitch is doing. Mitch is up to P8 now. Oh, and there's a lovely battle for 6 as Mr. Beef Baby trying to pass Slingshot, who has not pitted yet. I'm sure he's just going to wait for the front straightaway here. And I believe we're going to see Capone's car possibly up here. I don't know how, if it's right up here in the middle of the track.
It's already been cleared away.
Already get the time penalty.
As Beef Baby makes short work of the Mercedes of Slingshot with those 10-lap newer soft tires. Actually, super soft.
Oh,
it shows super
jumps.
soft, but...
Taylor jumps switchback and made the undercut work.
He has.
And they're both two-stopping.
They are both going to two-stop then because they both switched to the super soft tire. But now we're going to see Switchback probably reel him in just a little bit over the next few laps with that 1-lap difference in their tires.
This is honestly probably going to come down to about a 4-car race for this lead. I think it's going to be Taylor, Switchback, Mr. Big Baby, and Rage all fighting out for this finish. And
don't forget about Trace Me. Don't forget about Avenged and Trace Me. Remember, Trace Me is on the medium tire. He is on the hardest compound tire available.
He will be on the supers at the end, or the softs.
As Switchback picks up a time penalty, so now they are all, I believe, even at the top. Switchback has 1, Taylor has 1. I'm not sure if Mr. Beef Baby has 1 yet. He's only about 2.5 seconds behind as he sets the fastest lap of the race, behind the Sauber that started on pole. And looks like he gained a little bit right there.
Trace Me is DNF.
What has happened here?
Wow, my oh my.
So what was turning out to be a brilliant strategy of starting on the medium tire has come undone here on lap 13. Unlucky 13 for the driver of the Williams.
Don't let this distract you too. Rage and Avenge are both one-stopping, while Taylor, Switchback, and Mr. Reef Baby are all two-stopping. All Rage and Avenge need to do is hold the time. Because they're going to lose a little bit of time, obviously, through the pit stop, and they're going to be on slightly older tires at the end, as Rage pits, but they're one-stopping. I don't know if Taylor, Switchback, or Mr. Beef Baby have the time in that second stop on the new set of tires there, but we're going to see. We might possibly have 5 drivers battling for the win of this race.
We could, as Rage has predictably gone onto the medium tire. Avenged, I think we're going to see him stay out there for a few more laps, probably till about the halfway point of the race, and then switch to the medium.
I tell you what, Switchback has no pace on these set of tires, I believe, as Mr. Beef Baby is closing in a half a second this last lap.
Yeah, something is going on with the Sauber driver. He's not as quick as he was in qualifying. Maybe he's just, I don't know. Maybe he's not agreeing with the set of tires like you're thinking, or maybe the race pace isn't quite there. Maybe he's got a bit of that 1-lap magic that some of us in this party, I won't name names, pointing at myself, would tend to lack.
And unfortunately, a Switchback about loses it through there. I believe he is running non-ballast. So that will play with him a little bit as Mr. Beef Baby is in a very good position. He has DRS and has gained a half a second just between the first and third sectors here. Really make a move up the inside. Fastest lap of the race. He's going to wait.
Yeah, didn't have it close enough for a lunge there as he runs a little bit over the curb. All's well that ends well. Runs a little wide through the last part of the Senna S onto the back straightaway.
Oh, as we have a good battle. I want to touch back to the 8th place battle. Spilling and E-Roads. E-Roads, another new guy to the field tonight, having a very uneventful, solid run today. Currently in P9, we're going to go back to the battle for P3. But a very good run for E-Roads right now. I think it's better to have a quiet, safe race than it is than to be too outrageous here, especially in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, a nice, solid, safe debut will go a long way for some of these drivers. You don't want to go out and set the world on fire and take out some of the bigger guys in the series on your debut. It just tends to not bode well for your future. As taking a quick look at Mitch, he has, on the set of soft tires he's got on the car since that first lap incident, moved his way back up to 7th. I think we'll see him again, more or less about the same as Avenged, come into the pits about the halfway point of the race.
He has no ERS here. This is going to happen. He has solely DRS. Oh, a switchback about loses it again. I feel like he's going to make a dive up here, but he has no ERS. Will the DRS work?
He's going to go for the inside.
Oh, so close.
Bit of a squeeze. No contact.
Still clean, boys. Still clean. Oh, they're going to go too wide.
Through the curve of the Sol.
They do.
And Beef Baby makes it work around the outside. You do not see that often in Formula 1.
I got that from the helicopter view. I have never seen anybody make that move work. And this is absolute sensational racing here in BRL F2. Now Mr. Beef Baby has his eyes set on Taylor. He knows that is, for the moment, effectively the race, as Avenge is pitting. Avenge is pitting.
So a little bit earlier than I thought he would, about 2 laps. I think I would have gone for at least another lap and tried to make it work, but this is his strategy. We'll see how he makes it work.
I think
as he has...
He did 16 laps on the softs, and those were the ones he qualified on. So
this is true.
16 laps, really good. Oh, his Rage is going up the... That's a switchback. Made the move in the salver. I was too busy thinking about Mr. Beef Baby just sending on by. Switchback makes the move.
Yeah, he's reclaimed 2nd place from the Force India. I think this time, though...
He just had a big moment there heading to the right hand, but he lost a little bit of time.
Yes, he has lost a little time. As I think this time around we'll see the Force India probably get by the Sauber pretty easily down the front straightaway. Because he is right on the back of him going into Zhongkao. Which if he can get the exit better, he gets the exit better, runs a little wide, has to snatch the steering a bit. But he's got the slipstream, he's going to be right on him. He's already gaining time on him down the straightaway from the slipstream. And he's just going to... and he runs in the back of him. A bit of clumsy driving there from the Force India, but he's going to clear the Sauber for the moment, or is he?
Switchback, he's going to have DRS here, and he has more ERS. Let's not have another mixed Jamaican incident or another Jamaican spilling incident here, guys. Keep it clean.
As Capone has now left the session, been spectating a bit, as...
Oh, so close. Mr. Beef Baby. Oh, the McLaren, that's Taylor. Taylor's retired.
What has happened here?
He was leading the race.
And he's chucked it off the side of the road there. A bit of snap oversteer maybe, as Switchback gets a little bit of oversteer out of the first hairpin. And Beef Baby is all over the back of him right now.
This is now for the lead of the race. Oh my, oh, they're side by side.
Can Beef Baby make a little bit cleaner move down the front straightaway this time? He is going for the inside already.
Oh, he about lost it right there. These guys absolutely stretch the balance, they stretch the wings so much here. Will Mr. Beef Baby be able to hold it through the center S's? We got a little loose. Switchback gets a time penalty.
He has picked up another time penalty here. He's going to have DRS, though. If he can get back in front of the Force India here, he may still have a race. He's going to go for a dive.
Absolutely incredible racing.
So we saw these two opposite of this before.
And they go side by side.
Beef Baby, as Hobo has retired. He has retired from the session. So we are now left with 9 runners. As soon as CJ and Riddick unlap themselves from Taylor and Spewing, who have both crashed out of the race.
And Spewing and Riddick are both still ghosted, so it is my assumption they will be retirees. So we're actually down to about 7 runners at the moment. But this is absolutely an incredible fight for the lead here, as Avenge has gotten around Rage.
Did Rage? No, did he slip back, or did he come into the pits again a few laps ago?
I feel like he slipped back here. Mr. Beef Baby gets a time penalty.
Switchback's got a little bit better run out of that corner. He's gaining on him down the straightaway with the help of the DRS. He's going to be right on the back of him, runs a little deep. And they've got, that's a ghosted car of Riddick ahead of them. So that won't cause any issues whatsoever.
Oh, we were getting word CJ did lag out, as well as Riddick crashed out. That is the reason for being ghosted.
Huh. So now Avenged is rolling around in 3rd place, 5 seconds clear of Formula Rage, who is actually on 3 lap older mediums than the Ferrari is. So the Ferrari, as he gains 2/10 through 1 corner on the 2 leaders.
Oh, the gap for the lead is closing. 5 car lengths, 4 car lengths, 3 car lengths, 2, down to 1 car length, and into the first turn.
He goes for a dive.
Yes, he will.
Gonna go for a cutback here. Not quite enough room to make it work. As Mitch has picked up.
He's going to make a dive. Shirley, oh, he blocks!
And the Sauber.
Are we going to see a repeat of a couple laps ago?
These two are fighting it out, tooth and nail. And you know what? The guy behind them on the road, Avenged King 7X, is loving this. That gap is come down already a second this lap, and he is on, albeit fresher mediums, he is still on the medium tire. He has completed his strategy for this race. These two have not, and they are going to come out of the pits behind him with all the work to do when they do come to the pits for the second time.
And Avenge is gaining about half a second a lap on these guys. But remember, his tires on those final few laps are going to be graded so badly, while these guys
as Beef Baby comes into the pits.
Tires. I wonder if he's going to go to softs or supers here. It's a little early to go to the supers. Let's see what he does.
He's going for another set of softs.
He goes softs. Let's see how he rejoins, as Avenge is just now coming across the line.
Avenge
I
has
don't know
already
if he can close that gap to Avenge. I don't know if he can.
No,
Rage
Avenge
is
is already.
pitting. Does he have wing damage?
I can't tell.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Halo.
It really is. All right,
But
so
Mr.
out of the
Beef
pits
Baby
come.
is only 5 seconds behind Avenge. This is going to come down to the final end here.
It really is. Avenged is going to have the lead of the race. But this gives Switchback an opportunity.
And Slingshot has pitted as well for his final stop. He's coming out right behind Rage. I wonder if he can do anything to dampen the Toro Rosso driver.
We shall have to see. I'm not sure if he's got the pace to really keep up with the Toro Rosso in that Mercedes today, but he's certainly going to give it the old college try, as Mitch is currently on his 20th lap on that set of softs as he's skittering around. I think he's run these tires too long. Yeah, he has definitely run these tires far too long.
But I feel like, did he change it to supers, or is always on the softs? Man, if he could have done a lap later, I feel like he could have gone to the supers and been in a really good position. But he's going to be on the softs. Mr. Beef Baby has already done 8/10 on Avenge just this lap. And Switchback is only 2 seconds behind Beef Baby. This is going to come down to these three drivers fighting it out as Mitch is in the pits. Let's see if Rage and Slingshot can pass him here, possibly E-Roads.
Mitch is going for the super soft tire, so he thinks he can make it the last 14 laps.
Rage is passing, will Slingshot pass him? It's going to be very close.
He has passed him.
On the pit exit.
Slingshot is already coming through turn 3.
Will E-Roads pass him? No, E-Roads is going to the pits. As everybody's pretty spread out now, it's just a waiting game for when Mr. Beef Baby is going to catch Avenge. As I say that, he closes in another 7/10.
I think it's a matter of when, not if, he catches that Ferrari. Now the question is, when he gets there, how difficult is Avenge going to make it? Is he going to fight him tooth and nail, and will we see a little bit of a coming together? Or will we see the two of them trading places back and forth with these DRS zones and see the Alfa Romeo?
Avenge knows that if he can secure this win and get 25 championship points, that'll close the gap down to 3. And 25 points is a whole lot better than 18. That's a 17-point gap between first and second. I feel like he's going to fight pretty hard. I feel like he is.
Well, you know what they say. Sometimes it's not the size of the fighting dog. The size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fighting the dog. So he's in a precarious position, and he may just have the gumption, shall we say, to pull this off. He's got another 12 laps and only 3 seconds to work with. But we've seen crazier things.
And don't forget, you've got guys like Mr. Beef Baby, Switchback Racer, E-Roads, all guys coming in about halfway through the season. They're wanting to make a mark. They're wanting to make a mark and prove that they are contenders in this division, and I believe some of these drivers are trying to prove that they can fight for the championship once they become full-time drivers next season. And I feel like Mr. Beef Baby, Switchback, they are making a statement here today.
Indeed they are, as he's already taken another 7/10 out of Avenged King on this lap already.
The gap is down to 2. I feel like by lap 27, he'll be within DRS. And I'm surprised, Switchback Racer, he just has not had the pace on these soft compound tires. I feel like it might take him a couple laps, but I do not know if he'll have the pace for these final 9 or 10 laps once he does get the pace, if he does.
Really haven't seen the dominant performance I think I was expecting from him tonight after that lap in qualifying. Just the first stint he was fairly competitive, was leading the race, actually started to pull away a little bit, and I'm not totally sure what happened to him, but he lost a little something after that first pit stop and just really has not got it back.
Oh, we got a good battle right now for the P5 spot. It's between Slingshot and Mitch. Mitch sort of went for a dive there. He's going to make another dive now. He gets in the grass. Slingshot trying to hold around the inside. Mitch around the high side, coming through the middle sector. An absolutely phenomenal battle for P5. These are both drivers sitting second and third in the points. Only 1 point difference between them. Every point matters.
Down to Juncal. Mitch runs a little bit wide on the grass. He gets a better exit, though. Will he get up the inside of the Mercedes? Not quite yet. He's going to go for the slipstream. He's going to have DRS down the front straightaway. He is going to be inside of him here. Pretty easy move, I think, to get the job done.
I feel like it should be a pretty easy move, and I feel like Slingshot knows that Mitch has quite a few amount of penalties. So I feel like Slingshot here is just trying to keep a nice clean car here. He knows Mitch has penalties. Just ride behind him here the rest of the race.
Indeed, as Beef Baby has now closed to exactly 1 second away from the leader of the race. He's not going to have DRS this time. He wasn't quite there at the detection point, but coming down the back straightaway, he will.
And remember, if these two get to fighting real hard over the course of a few laps, Switchback will be right in the fold. Avenge gets a time penalty. I want to
Very
check
unfortunate
very
there.
briefly in the race director before they start to battle to see if I can look at penalties here. There's quite a few of them. Hate to say. Please let me know if they get to battle in here. I'm trying to hurry and see the penalties. Mr. Beef Baby and Avenged.
Right, the fight is on. He's close to within half a second of him. He is all over the back of the race leader, who started back of the field. So I feel like the strategy's compromised him a little bit. He's definitely got the pace, as he has driven from stone last on the grid, more or less, to lead of the race. Possibly going to come home with a P2 finish for it, but just to think what might have been if he hadn't crashed out in qualifying, or at least gotten a slightly better starting spot.
I'm going to go back to the battle here. Avenged has at least 6 seconds worth of penalties here. Mr. Beef Baby, I believe, has 1. Oh, is he going to go around the high side?
He is going to go the long way around into the Senna S. It's going to give him the inside for the second corner. And, oh, they collide.
They collide. Will Avenged have DRS here? Yes, he will. He did that strategically, I think. So we'll get DRS.
And I think the contact is repass. Yes, he does. I think Beef Baby's best bet is just to sit behind him through Sector 2 here, not do anything silly, no wild dives, just crank the ERS down and wait. Oh, Avenged, it's a little tail happy.
Intervals here. It looks like they will have no lap traffic here, which is a very good sign for both the drivers. You see Avenged trying to get every last little bit of that car hanged out, just trying to get every little inch of road, trying to gain time here as Mr. Beef Baby is going to go for a run around the high side here. DRS wide open. He has very little ERS, so can he make the move? Oh, so
Same
close.
move as last time. Gonna be a little bit cleaner here.
DRS.
And he's got the inside. They're gonna come into the DRS zone side by side.
Side by side, Avenged being very strategic. He knows Mr. Beef Baby is having to use up so much ERS on the straights just to hang with him. And if Avenged, if he just lets him get that little nose out, head through the Senna S's, he'll get DRS every time heading through that second little straightaway there. A Switchback has gained a second on these leaders just by them battling. Very good fight indeed. He's gonna have a shot at him once again. And now the long front straightaway. He will have DRS here. Coming out of the Senna S's. Not sure if he will get anything with it. I'm not sure where my commentator is gone. My co-host, Ferrari Nut. He's back.
Sorry, was a bit preoccupied for a second there. So we have now seen.
You missed the pass for the lead.
Oh no, I saw it. I was a bit preoccupied with a bit of stuffiness there. So we've now seen Mr. Beef Baby.
Allergy season.
It is. We've seen Mr. Beef Baby now get around Avenged King. Avenged is going to have DRS on both straightaways, I got to feel, this time around, which will help him claw back a little bit of time, as he's already picking up some time with the slipstream. He's not going to be close enough for a move here, by any stretch of the imagination, but he has clawed it back a little bit.
Once again through the Senna S's.
He will. Question is, will he have the time?
Anything. Oh, I think he's going to go for a dive. I think he will. Really up the inside.
Madcap
yes,
dive.
This is definitely putting Mr. Beef Baby under pressure.
But Switchback, again, just not making the most of these two fighting each other. He hasn't reeled back any more time with them fighting, and he's retired.
My, oh my.
What has happened to the pole sitter?
And Mr. Beef Baby, I feel like he's getting really pressured right now. Avenge is not dropping back that much. So I feel like Avenge is trying to force him into a mistake so they can get even on penalties here.
Well, we've seen it work before. If you can force your opponent into a mistake, it can benefit you quite a bit, especially if that mistake involves a 3-second drop back at the end of the race. He's a little farther behind this time into turn 1.
But it's down to about half a second. I feel like he learned from that last move. It cost him quite a bit of time through the middle sector here. I feel like he's just going to take the DRS, close it up to a few car lengths, and then save some DRS. Wait for the front straightaway once again as he gets a much better line through there and is closer now.
I think the Force India on the softer tires is going to have quite a big advantage through the second sector this time around. So I think we'll see at the end of this sector that Beef Baby may be a little bit out of reach for Avenged King. Although he's hanging with him pretty good now. It's a little wide.
Just has to keep it within a second.
He does, and the detection point is down here at Zhongkao, this final corner they're coming up to now. So coming out of here, he is going to be within a second.
8, 9 tenths. I mean, that's pretty far back, but crucially, he's still within DRS.
He is, so he will continue to pull back time, and I think being this far back, he's able to just hang on to the back of that Force India just enough that he can pull him a little bit of time down the straightaway.
And he can save a little bit of DRS, save a little bit of fuel, and even save a little bit of that tire there. Just because the dirty air isn't that much intruding him, as he's actually a little bit closer now. I feel like he's saving a little bit of DRS, saving a little bit of those tires, and the gap is now 4 tenths, 5 tenths.
He is. He's down in mode 0, which is not using anything, full save, which through the second sector, you're not using any anyway. Might as well throw it in mode 0. Gap about the same here. Maybe a little bit wider of a gap.
A little bit of time out of that corner.
Yeah, he's lost a little bit. It's now up over a second. I think that's
really
job done.
Though he might lunge it. He might lunge it in that corner, see if he still gets it. We'll see momentarily. Does he have DRS? No, he does not.
So now Mr. Beef Baby solidly in the lead of the race, getting a bit of a slipstream off of him from behind his Avenge, but not enough to close up the gap to get back within DRS range. So I think the Force India, with 3 laps to go here, has seated himself quite nicely at the head of this race.
And as we're closing into his final few laps, Slingshot's still within a good little bit here to get P4, giving Mitch's time penalties as long as he can hold the time. We're about 2.5 laps to go. Who is your driver of the day?
Driver of the day has to go to Avenged King. He's kept it clean after retiring and qualifying as he picks up a 3-second time penalty, as we are talking about him. Speaking of the devil, he show up here. He's got to be driver of the day because he has just more or less controlled the damage that could have been done by that absolutely, I want to say, disastrous qualifying session where a man who should have been towards the front of the race has put himself into a position where he could have potentially won the race.
And he was so smart at the beginning of the race. You saw incidents between Jamaican, Trace Me, Spewing, Mitch, all guys getting in trouble who were in the points fight, lose their head a little bit just because they were farther in the back around some maybe a little bit slower guys than they would have liked. They were all getting in trouble, and Avenge just kept his cool, kept his head, kept his wits about him, and he's going to get rewarded with a solid second place finish, which I believe, will move him up, I believe, to 4th in the points, either 3rd or 4th here in the points, depending on where Slingshot and Mitch finish.
Well, I think it's fairly safe to say they're going to finish in 4th and 5th. The question is, in what order?
Because Mitch has a lot of penalties. He's trying to stretch the gap here on
He's got
Slingshot. We'll see momentarily.
He's got about a 12.5-second gap on the Mercedes at the moment. That's now bumped up just over 13 seconds. The pace is going to start to probably drop away from him as he picks up another time penalty.
And I'm going to check here real quick to see how many. I know Slingshot has no time penalties. Mitch, how many penalties does he have?
If he has 5 or more, then Slingshot still has the position.
Mitch has at least 12. Mitch has 15.
So
he has 15. Actually, he has 18. Mitch has 18 seconds worth of time penalties.
with
We'll go on
only a lap to go.
As we'll go on board, Mr. Beef Baby, his final lap. He put in a really good drive. He had to fight guys like Rage, like Avenge, like Taylor, like Switchback Racer, all for this win. He had to fight off F1 drivers to get this win, who, I'm surprised, Trace Me, the highest he ever got in this race was second, and he was on the ultimate strategy. He would have came out fifth. Rage has had very uneventful race. He, to be honest, probably had about a fifth place car, and he's winding up in third. So these F2 drivers are absolutely taking it to the F1 guys as Mr. Beef Baby coming along the front straightaway. He's weaving the wheel a little bit. He is a winner in BRL F2.
Congratulations to him and the Force India team for picking up that win, as Avenge King is going to come home in second place. Quite a bit of time penalties he picked up during that race, so he's going to be officially 14 seconds behind. The big thing here is going to be Mitch and Slingshot. There is currently about a 13, almost 14-second gap between the two of them. That's not going to be enough for the Ferrari to maintain position.
If Mitch had 2 or 3 more laps, he possibly could have done it. But I feel like, just like I said, he didn't keep his cool. As Rage comes across the line, he will finish P3. And now it will be, did Mitch, I don't think he's going to have enough of a gap on Slingshot unless Slingshot got a penalty that I didn't see. It's going to be very close to see who gets P4. And
apparently Slingshot has it in hand. We'll see here in a moment.
He does.
It's going to be close. If he has a penalty, he's not going to get it. But if he's clean, he's going to take the position. And he does take the position.
Does. P4. And we weren't able to get it there, but E-Roads, he ended up being, I think, a lap down. But in his BRL F2 debut, he will finish P6.
Not a bad start to your career. Didn't really make any noise, didn't make any enemies.
You see the podium drivers there, Mr. Beef Baby, Avenge, Rage. I think we only had 6 finishers here. I think we'll try to get them all in the party here, like we did last week, and see their thoughts and opinions of that race here.
Indeed.
As I'm taking a picture of the results, the race will be on YouTube, BRL Esports. You can follow us on Twitter at BRL Esports. We live stream these races as well on Twitch, obviously, like it is being streamed right now. But here is how they finished. Mr. Beef Baby's first, Avenge second, Formula Rage third, Slingshot fourth, Mitch fifth, and ER Rhodes in sixth. The rest of the drivers are DNFs, and because they DNF before 90%, they will get no points. Notably, CJ, who needed a good run, he DNF'd. Riddick, making his debut, he crashed out. Switchback Racer, who had looking like get a solid top 4, making his return to league racing, will DNF. Taylor, who was leading the race, DNFs. Look to see more from him later. Spewing, who needed a good run, will end up DNFing. Trace Me, who had to battle his way back through the field, he DNF'd. Capone, who needed a good run, DNF'd. Jamaican, who was in 4th in the points, needed a really good run, he DNF'd as well. As we are getting the podium finishers and just all the finishers in general, get them in here into this party for interviews.
I definitely think Trace Me had a very good race going there until that incident left him out of it. He had yet to stop and had worked his way all the way up on the hardest tire to the sharp end of the field. I think he was in 3rd or 4th at one point. You think if that had continued on, you think he maybe could have got a little farther up the grid?
Possibly. It's hard to know in these races. There's so many variables. And just anything can happen in these things. We're having a few drivers come in, just waiting on Slingshot, I believe now. Everybody, make sure to check the bots up there, the up top for interviews. Avenged, have you checked the bots?
I have.
Offer and include my audio.
E Roads, have you checked the bots? E Roads, have you checked the bots? We'll get back to him. Rage, have you checked the bots?
Yeah.
Mr. Beef Baby, have you checked the bots?
Sir, yes, sir.
Mitch and Slingshot, have y'all checked the bots?
Yes, we have.
Yep.
E Roads, have you checked the bots?
I have.
All right, we'll start with the winner of tonight's BRL F2 race, Mr. Beef Baby.
All right.
We were thinking there at the start after quali, it was honestly about 8 drivers who had a shot at winning that race, and it looked like about 4 or 5 of y'all were battling y'all's hearts out. How did you get around Avenged there? Did it just come down to the softer compound tire, or did you just feel like you had better pace there to get that win?
It was definitely the tire. I was kind of just trying to not go too aggressively. I was running in lean for a lot of the battle, and then I just kind of turned it back up once we were getting closer to the finish, and it came out pretty well. I had 2 really good battles there with Avenge and Formula Rage, I think it was. Just a really good time. Second league race with you guys and in general, so I definitely had a good time with it.
Now this,
Good job, man.
I believe
Good job,
this
man.
is your only second race in BRL F2. We've got a bunch of new drivers coming in, like you, Mr. Beef Baby. We've got E-Roads coming in. We've got other guys like Capone, who's making a statement now. I've done forgot his name. Talon? I've done forgot his name. I've gone blank here. Riddick. I think we had 4 new drivers tonight, and a bunch of new drivers just trying to make a statement. It looked like you were definitely making a statement out there tonight. Does this give you some momentum heading to the rest of the season as we have hit past the halfway mark? Are you trying to prove now that you deserve to be a championship winning F2 driver next season, or are you looking to become an F1 driver next season? What are your goals following this season and heading into next season?
Well, I'm not really looking too far. Probably towards next season. I started up late here, but as far as it being like my first few times with the F1 races, I mean, I do race oval in INX Legend cars in real life, and then I pit crew for Tommy Baldwin Racing for Tour Type Modified, so I definitely have some background. I did a bunch of iRacing stuff, so I'm definitely not like just coming in too fresh, but it definitely is different racing going from oval to road. Definitely a good time while I'm doing it, but I don't know. I'm just gonna kind of see where it goes. I'm sure F1 is obviously, you know, the coveted division, but I'm just looking forward to the next race and seeing where I'm at after that.
Well, that's your winner. Everybody had an absolutely great drive. Ferrari,
All right.
do
Thank
you
you.
have any questions for our race winner?
How's it feel to be a race winner?
It feels pretty nice. Hands hurt. Don't really have a steering wheel, but you know, it still gets it done. Thank you.
I feel you there.
Oh yeah.
Let's move on to the next driver. If you want to take it, Ferrari second place was Avenged.
Avenged. First question, what happened in qualifying? I didn't see it. I don't think Deer Hunter saw it either.
Coming out of the pits, tried to get the tires warmed up on the pit lane. Car went to the right, hit the wall. We were done.
exit.
Yeah.
Oof. So a rough start to your race, but a good recovery
Yeah.
to come home in second. Do
Yeah.
you feel that given a second chance at that qualifying session where you could have gotten out on the track and set a lap, do you think you could have maybe could maybe actually won the race?
Won the race. I feel like we could have definitely won that race, but starting in 13th, we had to avoid a lot of craziness today, though.
Yes, first lap incidents, retirements throughout the first half of the race. Very eventful evening overall. anything that we might not have seen that happened to you aside from dodging the first corner or first lap chaos?
I don't think I should talk about how many times I went over the turn 2 curb and got a penalty, but that's probably about the only thing you really missed. I don't know if y'all saw it, but I got 2 for 1 going in turn 1.
I did not see that.
I think I got that on the stream. I'll have to look back. I think I did.
I got double overtake on Trace and Capone going in turn 1.
Oh, wow.
I'm scared as hell they were going to wreck each other, though.
3 into 1 does not work, but you came out the other side virtually unscathed, except for maybe needing a new pair of shorts. But
Yeah.
congratulations on that second place. Dear Hunter, do you have any questions for the man taking home the silver tonight?
I feel like he did it absolutely perfectly. He had a few problems with penalties, but he was able to come back from the back of the field and definitely put in a good showing. Moving on to
Thank
our
you.
final
It's all the
podium
strategy.
finisher. Or podium finisher for the race, not podium finisher for the division. But Rage with a P3. Rage, I'm actually surprised. I figured you and Trace Me would just leave everybody, and you were right in the thick of things. It looked like for a long time there, you were sitting about P4, P5, and a couple guys retired there, and you're able to get a P3. What are your thoughts on today's race?
Yeah, it was interesting. But I did the one stop, so I was trying to not push too hard in either stint really. But at the same time, I had to fight with a whole bunch of people for like P3 and 4 and whatnot. We got hit by a lap car, so then that got reset down to like P4 or something like that. So then fighting back from that was fun. But other than that, it was all right. I like to mix it up with these guys, make sure they're on their toes.
Yes, indeed. Well, we definitely saw today a bunch of the F2 drivers, even though quite a few did retire, a bunch of F2 drivers definitely making a statement saying they can run with these F1 drivers. Ferrari, if you got anything for Rage. If not, we'll move on to our P4 driver, an effective P3 F2 division podium finisher.
I don't really have any questions for Rage. I think you covered the points there pretty good. So now the two men who had the closest fight on track for a position.
I believe
Can I
that was
just-
the next finisher.
Can I just say one thing?
Of course.
Go ahead.
How did we have this much chaos in one race, yet the last 3 races combined was not this chaotic?
I think
Well,
usually
it's
you have
Brazil.
a safety
It's a
car
party.
to milk things out.
It's Brazil, and we were, like I said, we're requiring a bunch of F2 drivers to get close to a really good grid here. It's just part of the racing. It's Brazil. But
All right.
Grande
I think
Ferrari.
Ferrari ready to cover Slingshot here.
I am indeed. So, Slingshot, did you know that Mitch had penalties in the amount that he did, or were you more or less consigning yourself to 5th place tonight after he got around you?
Well, when he caught up with me and got around me, Mitch is normally pretty fast, so I knew something had to have happened back in the back. So when he passed me the first time, I was consigned that okay, I'll go ahead and take the position that I have. But then when I caught back up to him and then he passed me again, I said I hope that he had some penalties. I wasn't sure if he had or not. And I said, first of all, he's a little bit far ahead of me. There's no way that he has that many penalties. That I'm still going to finish where I'm going to finish. And got over the line, and they said that I had 4th. And look, man, I'll take it wherever I can fit in.
Exactly. Take the points where you can get them because they do not come easy.
No, they
Any
don't.
hairy moments you want to bring up during the race?
Well, there was a couple of guys that I came up around, and I was hoping that, as a matter of fact, Mitch, we came into a couple of corners, and I thought maybe that we would bump and touch each other, and I'm like this. I much rather just let him pass. Hopefully, I can catch him in the straight.
Dear Hunter, do you have any questions for our 4th place finisher and 3rd place man in the championship tonight?
Slingshot, well, just one question for you. You're going to wind up getting 3rd place for the F2 division, which is going to be 15 points. That means the gap between you and Sparky is now 2 points. And we saw both Sparky and Ledoux try to get in last minute and qualified, and they weren't able to, which has gifted you 15 championship points. The gap is 2 points. And we have 5 races remaining. We're just past halfway in the season now. Do you think you can win the championship?
Hey, you never know. My thing is staying consistent. That's one of the things that I have to pride myself on being able to do. One of the things I need to work on again is a lot of the guys are taking 1-stoppers and 2-stoppers, and I need to work on my tire management. If I can do that, who knows?
Well, it was a great race by you indeed.
Thank you.
Moving on to 5th, effective 4th for the F2 division, Mitch. Usually I always have great things to say about your race pace and your performance. But what happened out there, bud, tonight? First, we saw just first lap head through the Senna S's. It looked like you and the Haas driver, I think it was Jamaican, touched a little bit, and then you got squirrely, and you came across the track, and y'all both got severe wing damage, and then you got a 5-second stop and go, and then you got tons and tons of penalties, and you had to fight your way back to a P5, effective P4. Just what happened that race?
Well, going into this, I didn't have any pedals, so I was using the paddle shifters.
Oh,
on
I
my
forgot
wheel.
about that.
That created a lot of stability.
There you go, right
broke.
there. That'll do it.
That created a lot of stability issues, and then whenever I tried to pass Jamaican on the first lap, I tried to cut to the inside, but unbeknownst to him, because he was fighting somebody on the right and I was on the left, I got kind of squeezed between him and the wall. And then later in the race, one of the guys that split out, he kind of pulled back out onto the track, and so then that just put me even further behind Jamaican. So, and then aside from that, just a lot of the penalties were just because I was out of my element as far as controlling the throttle and the turns and stuff, and so I just found myself trying to focus on the throttle, focus on the brake, all while trying to control the car, and it was pretty exhausting as the 18 seconds worth of penalties would show.
Well, I can just imagine. I struggle just going back to a pad, let alone having the situation you are with your wheel, with it being a little messed up. I totally forgot about it, forgot to mention it. But
He came up.
you're going to get effective P4 here. You're going to get some solid points. You're going to pass Jamaican here. Are you still thinking you got a shot at the championship with Sparky not being here, or are you just looking forward to solidifying a good solid finish this season and looking forward more towards the next season?
I'm just trying to take it one at a time. I got a lot going on in my personal life, so it's just I just try to finish the races, and if I can finish on a podium, then that just makes it all that more fun. I'm definitely glad that we have split up the races into these 2 leagues, because it makes it all seem like a lot more people on track are on the same skill level as what I am. So that makes it a lot more fun whenever you're not just racing for the first 3 laps, and then the next 50 laps are you just trying to race against your own lap times.
Keep you from getting lapped. That's what you're trying to do.
Well, I think Ferrari can amount to this. We almost had 16 drivers. Because Ledoux and Sparky just missed it, and with DigiProofs returning, we will have 15 full-time F2 drivers, I believe, starting next week, which will be a whole lot better than what we started with this at the beginning of the season. But Mitch, good recovery driver. You final driver we're going to interview tonight. Ferrari, I'll let you take it. Our new racer, E-Roads. First time racing in BRL, first time in the F2 division. He had a quiet race, but he ended up P6.
Yeah, he did.
Trying to keep it clean.
And for the most part, you did exactly that. No major incidents to speak of. Possibly got in the way a little bit of your teammate's second qualifying lap. That might be revisited a little later.
He said he was coming behind, and I was trying to be on a flyer too, and I just bailed on it and tried to get out of his way, and is what I could do without losing the car. So, yeah, my apologies to him and the Capone in the race. I was getting ready to block. And I saw him go left, and I started hitting the brakes. Next thing I know, he ran it behind me, and then that. So, yeah, I don't know what happened there, but my apologies to Capone, too. So,
Okay, well,
definitely did not try to do it.
maybe not the most spotless race, but either way, you came
No.
home in P6, which is not a bad finish on your debut in a series. What are you hoping for next week?
Same as this one, just clean race, maybe race with people, and actually have the pace to hang with some of these guys, and I'm not used to that, so this was definitely a change, and this is definitely a lot more fun than I expected, so. And Brazil's definitely not my track. I really don't like this one, but I gave it and did the best I could with it.
Well, I think we can all say you did fairly all right.
Man.
We'll be looking forward to
Thank
seeing
you.
more out of you in the future as you get more and more comfortable racing around the group of individuals that you're around.
Yep.
Dear Hunter, any final thoughts or questions?
No, none for ER Roads. But as we close into our next race, I believe it is Canada. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe
Germany.
Germany.
Oh, it's Germany. My bad.
It's all right.
Ferrari, what do you think we expect to see at Germany? Do you think we're going to see some of the same guys be battling up at the front, or do you think it's going to be more spread out, possibly?
I don't know. We'll have to get there and see. Germany, ever since they chopped it from what Hockenheim used to be way back in the day, it's all about downforce, and it's very hard to follow another car, especially through the latter half of the lap. Really, the only overtaking zones are into turn 2 and into the hairpin at the end of the Parabolica straight.
Parabolica.
Should be an absolutely cracker of a race. You saw it with F1 earlier this year. It ended up being wet conditions. It was a very fun race for me, getting a good finish there. But I feel like with F2, we're getting a bigger grid. A bunch of these guys are getting very close together. Time-wise, I feel like it's going to be a very good race.
I got
indeed. And I believe that about does it here for us. As we close here, we obviously, all our thoughts and prayers go with the people of Sri Lanka. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. I believe it was 207 Christians killed, 4 Americans. So our thoughts and prayers are certainly out to all the victims of that tragedy. You never want to hear about that. So as I said, our prayers are for all of them. We race for them tonight, and our hearts just go out to all of them. But this has been BRL Esports, the F2 division. You can follow us on Twitter at BRL Esports. You can follow us obviously here on Twitch and watch the races live at BRL Esports. And you can find us on YouTube at BRL Esports, along with Facebook, BRL Esports. So that is
Wait.
From, as Avengers has something to say.
I just have one thing I want to say to Beef Baby.
Yes, sir.
If we have another race like that in Germany like we did today, I'm going to enjoy the rest of this championship.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have a good time too. I mean, I don't think I have the time to really jump up any higher on any higher on the standings here, but no, I'm definitely looking forward to the next race. It should be a good time.
Okay, that's all I had to say. You can finish out now, Jake.
And that's what we love to see. Love to see these drivers having a good time and being very competitive. But we are closing here. This has been BRL F2 at Japan. It was absolutely a stunning race where it came down to a battle of attrition and a battle to grit. Thank you all for watching, and everybody have a good, lovely, safe night.
All right.